Alright, episode 8, here we go. Oh, going back in time.
I can give you the highlights. Your nephews grew impatient. They continued to press me for my permission to kill Walter White. But a phone call was placed to Agent Schrader moments before the attack.
That's a good point. We've got the phone call. What's the phone call about? I guess maybe this is respect. Gus sitting down with him, it's respect. This granddaddy was at some point, I think, a big figure in the cartels. So I feel like he's maybe just sitting down and giving him the respect of telling him what's happened. However, why? Why are we getting him again? Why are we getting this episode?
I thought you should hear it from me.
Oh, this boy mad. Ooh, disrespect. No, okay, maybe this is disrespect. Welcome, my name is Tyler Alexander, and this is a live analysis of Breaking Bad, episode 8, Hermanos. Oh, cancer. Do you know what? It's so easy to forget that he has cancer.
I'm still pretty new at this. The minute I'm starting a new business, my wife will never...
Excuse me. I'm waiting to hear a progress report.
Boss man's back, boss man. That just shows you quite a lot, again, where Walt is, right? This Walt is in stark contrast to season 1 Walt, who would have sat and listened to this guy and felt empathy for this guy. No empathy. Immediately no empathy. Doesn't even register. Not even like a little look of like, this bothers me a little bit. You know what I mean? And then he takes the phone call and he's like, progress report. Boss man Heisenberg.
Anyway, so for me, that's been the biggest wake-up call. Letting go.
Not even no empathy, first of all, but second of all, annoyance at this guy's petty emotions, right?
Such bullshit. Never give up control.
Oh,
Live life on your own terms.
there you go. This speaks volumes of where he is.
Every life comes with a death sentence.
Man, not wrong.
Who's in charge? Me.
In charge. There you go. He's literally outright saying it now. That's the thing now in my head as well. I feel like, the show is specifically showing me, leading me to this place where Walt is going to take power. I wonder if they're going to play with that, because every single time in this show that the show has been like, this is what we're doing, maybe even the next episode they're like, nah, not doing that, mate, we're doing this instead. Right? It does that so often, so I wonder now whether they're going to like pull the rug under for my feet. It's going to seem like he's going to take charge and then something shocking is going to happen to undermine that. Maybe we'll see. Oh, Hanky boy, hello sir.
Well, should we get started?
Oh, this is going to be so interesting to see how this goes. I wonder if Gus can keep his cool. He will keep his cool, I feel like, but there's going to be like a death stare at one point, I feel.
Sir, your fingerprints were found at a crime scene.
We're going straight in. Fair. Okay. That little pause there. He's putting stuff together. What's he going to say?
Gail Bedeker's apartment.
Good answer. Confident, goes straight in there, gets ahead of it. Yeah, puts Hank on the back foot. Pause. I feel like Gus is the kind of guy that is so meticulous in his planning and almost overthinking, I would assume. That's maybe unfair. Over preparation, or I think he prepares to the point that a lot of people would think that it's over preparation, overthinking, right? But I feel like he's been through this in his head, thought of a contingency plan. And I think that just speaks to how good a planner he is, how good a schemer he is, because we've seen that he is.
Established a chemistry scholarship at UNM. I need
And you kept in regular contact with him over all this time?
Oh, no, I hadn't seen Gail for years.
Managed him where?
At the restaurant.
Man is quick on his feet.
Gail Bedeker asked you for money?
Well, he didn't come right out and say that. For reasons I never understood, he was more interested in taking shortcuts.
Man, he's good. There's a reason he's in charge, right?
After what was a very pleasant meal left.
Did he sing for you? Did he sing? Sorry, I know, I was there for this. This was literally in the show. He didn't sing. It's a shame. It's a crying shame.
Sorry, yeah, just one other thing.
Where you going, Hank?
Gustavo Fring, your real name?
Ooh.
I know you're a Chilean national, but there are no records of you ever living there.
See, Hank's good at his job. Why would he check that? See, that speaks to, pause, that just speaks to professional preparation on Hank's part. And I think that's the first time Gus has been affected. You saw in his face, he was like, what? I think Hank hit home on something there. Perhaps even the first time that Gus has seen Hank as a threat, or seen Hank's competency that we know.
There's no record of Gustavo Fring ever having existed in Chile.
General Pinochet's government was guilty of a great many sins, notoriously unreliable at keeping records.
Got an answer for everything, hasn't he?
You'll find me.
Ooh, yeah. Sorry, that little bit there, just there. Sorry, I'm going to replay it. Hang on.
I'm sure if you keep digging, you'll find me.
Look at that. That is the first time in this conversation he's been shaken. And I just wonder why. I wonder why. One, perhaps because there are no records, because he was never in Chile, perhaps. Or perhaps there's a past in Chile that he's trying to hide. And if Hank keeps going down that road, which, you know, we've got evidence that Hank has started going down that road, Hank will find something. So perhaps that is the first time that Gus is feeling nervous, because if Hank goes down that road, he will find something. Gus knows that. And for the first time, there's been a hole punched in his preparation. He didn't prepare for that. Yeah, here we go. Okay, man's not happy. But it's interesting, it shows a lot, right? Pause. A lot of people, if their plans were starting to get unraveled or someone was trying to poke at you, they would act out, they wouldn't be able to control their emotions. The maximum amount of emotion that Gus shows is this little movement. It speaks to his character and who he is, and I just find that interesting, because I feel like he is this calm character. He's very in control of himself. He's very in control of his business and what he's doing. There's a reason he's at the top. There is a reason he's powerful. Yeah, he was shaken there, and I think he's not happy that he was shaken.
I thought his story was credible.
Yeah, fair. I don't blame you for that.
I agree. I think it was a good story. Still, why are we hearing it now?
Yes, Hank.
One day he's reading the newspaper and sees that someone he just had dinner with.
Pause, and I feel like, sorry, I'm going to draw attention to this because I feel like this is really clever by what they're doing here with the script and Hank's character. You know, like, look, if at this point in the show you're not behind Hank, or you're not, you know, this plot point here, this storyline is almost designed to make the audience get behind Hank and get in his corner, because, you know, he's in this room, and it's not a Breaking Bad thing, I think shows do this all the time, but he's in this room trying to persuade these guys of a thing, but the difference being the audience knows that Hank is right. We know he's right, so we're automatically in his corner because we know that he's right. So despite all these guys being like, I just don't see it, I don't buy it, you know, they're very kind of in conflict with Hank, not aggressively, not in his face or anything, but like understandably. And you understand that too, right? You understand why. I think a lot of shows do that bit badly. They don't give the other guys across the room a good excuse to be like, no, I just don't buy it, I just don't buy it, to the point that you're like, why the fuck don't you believe Hank, or the Hank kind of character positing this idea? And I think through that you're in this ride with him, you know, he's the personification of you as a result of that, and it makes you like his character more.
He reads this and he doesn't make a phone call?
Good question though, valid question.
You can't predicate a criminal investigation on a person not making phone calls.
Also true.
I believed him.
Yeah, and I don't blame them for believing him either, because that he played that really, really well.
Bird bath.
Interesting. Okay, hello.
Plus, there's a little extra in there for any move-related incidentals.
Oh, interesting. So Jesse put her on to sort it all out for her. That was nice. I like that we're seeing this.
If you really want to know how they're doing, why don't you go see for yourself?
I think he wants to stay away. I don't think he wants to affect, because I feel like he sees himself, pause, as this plague. You know, if he gets in people's lives, their lives inevitably become some kind of ruin, or he brings chaos and destruction. I don't think he does, but he has in the past, right? That's been a thing. And I think, at least, well, it doesn't matter what I think that's what he thinks. And again, we see more of that moral good in Jesse, and this striving to be good, striving to be better, striving to bring betterness to the lives of those around him. Her specifically, for example. Okay. Interesting that we're seeing this as what, right, okay. Yeah, interesting we're seeing this, because obviously last episode we had Walt being like, you know, this is what you wanted. You said you could handle this, get it sorted. And she is. She is essentially more of a worker for Walt than she is a spouse or a partner. Nice. Good place to put it, which I think is a representation of where Walt is going as well, as this boss figure.
And I'm still in remission. So.
And there's so little reaction from him now, because it's like the cancer isn't the biggest danger to him.
Hank, where are we going? You hungry?
Ooh, Polos
Right here for the
Hermanos.
chicken. Gustavo Fring.
Keep you cool, Walt, keep you cool.
The man's a drug dealer.
Walt, keep you cool, mate.
Remember Gail Bedecker?
Yeah, this shows that he doesn't even slightly suspect Walt yet.
There was a much bigger guy out there, right?
That was just
Doesn't
speculation.
matter. Chicken Man's fingerprints at Bedecker's murder scene. So we bring him in.
Yeah, now you're seeing Walt. This is so important for Walt to see, because he's getting too big for his boots. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I feel like he felt like he was untouchable. And I feel like this is a lesson that shows that he's One, he's not, but two, there are consequences to his actions, which, you know, goes back a couple episodes ago. I was saying he needed to learn that. He wasn't, because that's the thing. He needed to learn that there were consequences to saying these things, to doing these things. All of these things are making him vulnerable. And I don't think he really feels that. And even if he thinks like, I probably shouldn't do this, he still does it. And I feel like he needs to rein that in. And maybe this will help with that.
Something deep down says he's my guy.
Oh, mate, get that look off your face, Walt. Come on, mate. Just chill out. Calm down. It's fine. He wouldn't be telling you this if he did suspect you.
The guy drives a 10-year-old Volvo. It's brilliant.
Yeah, see? Watch and learn, Walt.
Stick this on it.
Gus knows how to hide his wealth.
And see where he goes.
He's absolutely going to tell Gus or something, because at the end of the day, we know that if Hank gets that footage, it's going to lead him to the lab. And through that to Walter. Maybe it's going to be another thing that like Hank draws back to and thinks back to and links back to Walt later on. I feel like we're approaching slowly this future where Hank works out that it's Walt, or at least that Walt's involved, or that Walt's Heisenberg, because Heisenberg is the end goal, right? That's what he's looking for. That's who he's looking for. I wonder if this is going to be another example that maybe makes Hank think, why did that go wrong? How could that have gone wrong? Mike.
Easy. Okay, here's what you do. You untie your shoelace. You stick this up into the wheel well. Then you go inside and...
I don't feel good about this at all.
Well, just do it.
No, I mean, this is a mistake.
Good, that's in Walt's character though. At least to Hank's mind. Walt is this by-the-book guy.
Just, you make me beg you? Come on, just stick it in there.
Is that your advice for everything, Hank? Well, this is fine. Just do it. Mike's going to see it, and you're going to get off scot-free. It's fine. And then you just explain to Mike afterwards, well, this is what happened. I had to do it. I saw you were there. They're sass. I love it. Oh, wow. Hello, Gus. Oh, this is the first time they've met since. This is big. Walt, keep it together. Order some chicken, get out.
May I help you?
Order some chicken, get out. Oh, he didn't put the thing on.
I didn't do it. See, do it. Do it.
Oh, Gus is so done with Walt's shit. Order some chicken, sir. You went and got some a drink. My man, take an opportunity, get some food.
What the hell is...
A little bit scared for Hank.
I swear to God, I thought I was driving the man to a gem and mineral show. He's operating on pure conjecture. We have a mutual interest in resolving this without violence. Jesse! Are we alone?
It's interesting, isn't it? Pause. That little scene there where he's looking at the camera. In my mind, I was like, it's interesting, isn't it, how he reverts almost back to Walt with Gus. You know, he shows fallibility. He shows and acts in a way that at least to the audience feels like weakness. Do you know what I mean? Like, but understandably, right? Because at the end of the day, Gus has all this power and the danger is from Gus, right? You absolutely understand. I don't blame him for it. I think it's a smart play. But then I'm like, at this point in the show, is it really him reverting back to Walt, or is it just another guise of Heisenberg at this point, just doing what he needs to do, groveling as much as he can, needs to survive? Maybe it's just pure survival instinct at this point, and I feel like perhaps there's more shrewdness in that. And the only thing that made me think that perhaps it's not this reversion back to Walt, perhaps it's another guise of Heisenberg, was the way that the scene instantly went into this, and Jesse and him like knocking on the door, and him being like going back into boss mode again. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like this the guys that he put on in front of the camera was him doing what he needed to do to get things done. And then he's like, right, good, done that. Now, right, Jesse, boom. Jesse, let's talk about this. This is what's happening. We gotta act. We'll see. Play.
Where do we stand with the thing that you were supposed to do?
Back into boss mode again. And it's interesting. I said, last episode, a few episodes ago, that there's this shift, more so now, that Walt has been making into Heisenberg. Right, there's been this push, this greater push towards him being Heisenberg. I felt like it was being foreshadowed, right? And it's interesting, isn't it? The thing that I was just saying about this, this groveling guise that he had, I don't necessarily think that's even Walt anymore so much. I think it's calculated on his part. He's like, well, I've got to do that to survive. Let's do it. Boom, goes to Jesse, boss man. And it makes me think as well, going back to the beginning of the episode when he was sat down with the guy, in the treatment room. And even in his Walt moments where no one's there, Gus isn't there, it's nothing to do with the business. He's not Walt anymore in that moment. He should be Walt, right? There's nothing in that moment that says he has to be Heisenberg. He has to be the boss. I get, there's the phone call, fine. But even before the phone call, he's not necessarily the Walter that we would have known, right? It wasn't like a shift from Walt to Heisenberg. I feel like he was almost Heisenberg already in that moment, in the way that he was showing no empathy towards the guy and the way that he was replying and reacting to that guy. I feel like more and more we're seeing like the erasure of Walt almost. You know what I mean? That's the sense I'm kind of getting.
You have got to make this meeting happen this week.
Yeah. See? And that whole thing in front of the camera was just to try and like get Gus, like get a little bit more time so that he could kill Gus.
My brother-in-law is on to Gus.
What if this is like math? You add a plus douchebag to a minus douchebag, you get like 0 douchebags.
I like you working. Yeah. You got to think this out, mate. I love it because I don't know. I genuinely don't know that what Walt is going to do.
Whatever, man.
Let's not forget, last episode, we saw that Jesse is slightly cracking on his loyalty to Walt as well. Interesting that we've got confirmed that it is Gus watching too, because we didn't actually know that it was him watching.
What about Chile?
If I can't find any trace
There
of
you go.
489, I seriously doubt Schrader can.
Ooh, pause. I feel like Mike is being a little bit egotistical there. And again, I think that falls into this place of their underestimating Hank. I think I was wrong, by the way. And there was a moment where Gus perhaps could see that Hank is competent in a way that he didn't think he was. I don't think Gus was thinking that. But I think that point still stands in the sense that I don't think they realize how competent Hank is. And I think, you know, throughout the whole show so far, the lifespan of the show, we've seen that Hank is competent. And I think, you know, that's a misstep on Mike's part. I think Hank is absolutely going to find something. But it also is confirmation that I was right. I think that Chile was the sore point that Gus was feeling in that interview at the beginning of the episode.
Bigger problem's the cartel.
Yeah.
Dealing with both Schrader and the Mexicans at the same time?
Who's he going to see? Hector again. Okay.
Agent Schrader, he's a concern. He's looking into my past.
And what is your past? I'm wondering that, because it keeps mentioning it, the show keeps mentioning it, now he's mentioning it again. What is his past? Ooh, okay.
Is today the day, Hector?
Okay.
Me está poniendo nervioso.
Okay. Oh, nice suit, Gus. Ah, is this the first time he grasps for power? Wow. Power move. Where are you going to wash your hands? He's not going to wash his hands. Don't fool yourself, Tyler. You going to find a sink, mate? Oh, it's this guy. Okay. No, even better, he's going to serve beverages. Oh, I love a little bit of piss from my water. Oh, it's alcohol. Good. I need to get drunk if I'm drinking his fucking...
Así que, pollos hermanos.
Interesting.
A mí no me parecen, hermano.
And the brother here is no longer around.
Grande chef. Que es el más sabroso en todo México.
Okay, there was a bit of a wait pause put on that guy's entrance. I wonder if that's the guy in charge currently in the present.
Max es el chef. Todos los halagos son para él.
Max. I feel like something's going to go wrong. Pause. And Max is going to get killed. And perhaps that is why Gus later killed the cartel boss, the guy at this table. Also is kind of against Hector now in the present. I feel like, yeah. Well, let's see. Play. And as a result of that, this guy perhaps in the present is looking to absolutely stick it to Gus.
De las operaciones.
Yes, he does.
Vamos a ser honesto. Nada más que ofrecen. ¿Sabes por qué? Porque
they're running drugs, right?
Yo no sorprendí que se las tiraran a usted, don Eladio.
Bold.
No encontramos otra manera de llamarle la atención.
God damn. Pause. Damn. And this is why they get rid of Max, right? Because, you know, he has the recipe. They no longer need him. So I guess maybe we're seeing in the show Gus's revenge on the cartels. For this moment, perhaps. Ooh. Interesting. That's really cool. And obviously at this table, Hector's neutralized. The guy next to him, dead. Earlier in whenever season 3, I think. And then this guy is the only one unaccounted for. Ooh. This meeting is going to make me really feel for Gus, isn't it? It's going to get me on his side. Interesting. Let's see. Play.
Y usted se queda con todas las ganancias.
Gus sees the danger here. Yeah, he really does. You can tell.
¿Cómo no le ofreces a los invitados?
I'm okay. Keep your piss hands to yourself, mate.
No fue intención insultarlo.
This scene is so good, by the way. And it's gone on for so long as well.
Necesito. Él es mi compañero. Por favor, se lo...
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. And suddenly you understand Gus's beef with the cartels and with Hector. Yeah, so that scene at the beginning, absolute disrespect to Hector from Gus. Yeah, sorry, just pause for a second. This is so... They're doing so much with this scene. They're not just telling you Gus's past in this scene, right? That's absolutely what they're doing. They're showing you the motivations that he has in the present. But that's the thing. I think it does a lot of clever things with the audience in this scene. It gets you behind in the same way that I mentioned that the show was getting you behind. I feel like, honestly, at this point in season 4, you're already behind Hank anyway. You already like Hank for the most part anyway. But that scene at the beginning with the interview, the way that I said that the show was kind of almost manipulating you as the audience by the way that they had structured that scene and arranged that scene, it is designed to make you like Hank and get on his side and get behind him. In the same way that this scene is doing the same thing for Gus in the audience's mind, right? What do we know about Gus? Up until this scene, before this scene, you think he's clever, cutthroat, powerful businessman, but he's this figure that you as the audience don't particularly feel enamored by, right? You don't feel... You like him for reasons that are very much like you respect him and he's a cool villain, right? What this scene does is deeper. It makes you as the audience, it gives you a personal and emotional stake with Gus. In the same way that, like I say, with Hank, it gets you as the audience alongside Gus. It puts you in his shoes. It's like Gus is the proxy for the audience at this point because you are feeling the emotions and the horror and the, oh God, do you know what I mean? And I feel like the lead up to it and the way that you're seeing Gus younger, he's different. You can tell he's different. And I think it's very important that Gus in this scene is very powerless. Right? He's not the powerful one in the room. He's not the powerful one around the table. He is the underdog, which I think automatically, to some extent, gets the audience on his side. I think people love an underdog, right? And the build up to this moment in this scene is meant to show Gus in a light that the audience can start to get on his side. And then building up to this crescendo of a moment, by the time this happens, you feel you're emotionally invested in these two. You see the connection between them, the love, you know, you respect the hustle, you know, Gus has like manufactured this thing. Max is, there's this bond between them. You can see that, the show shows you that, the writing shows you that, to the point that you do get enamored by these brothers, right? And obviously we have the knowledge that Max isn't there. So you're kind of almost half expecting, I feel, Max to go out, right? It doesn't matter that you know that's what's going to happen. They build it up so perfectly that when that does happen, you're like, oh, you feel the blow, right? You feel for Gus. And so what this scene does is you start to understand Gus's mindset. You start to feel his need for revenge in you, the audience, right? So that when we revisit Gus in the present, you feel that. So now when Walt goes against Gus, you know this stuff about Gus that has softened you, I feel like, towards Gus, which makes the inevitable conflict between them more emotional, more painful as a result of that. That's so clever. And it just gets you more invested in whatever's gonna come. And also more invested in Gus's crusade against the cartels, right? Which we didn't really know. It fills up all those gaps. Sorry, I've talked for so long. I will play. But whereas I felt like it was dangerous for him to be sitting down and showing Hector disrespect, now I'm like, fuck that guy, fuck Hector, yeah, show him disrespect. And I love that Gus had that power over Hector. Do you know what I mean? That's what it does. That's what this scene does. It changes your perspective on things you've seen in the past and going forward in what you're going to see in the future. In a way that enamors me emotionally towards Gus. I feel for him now. I'm on his side. I'm almost like wanting his crusade to bear fruit, to be a success, because these guys are pricks that did this to him. And he's absolutely justified. That's the important thing. It justifies everything he's doing, where he is, what he's doing in regard to the cartels, and why he's so single-minded and so ruthless when it comes to the people below him and getting what he needs to get done, because he's so passionate and he has to do this, right? Because this happened.
La única razón, ¿quién eres tú?
And who is he?
Quédate con los pollos.
Right, so they're not employing him then as a result of this. Yeah, and it just reframes this dynamic and this scene between him and Hector. It just reframes it emotionally. Directly after showing that scene, and it's like, yeah, fuck you, Hector. Yeah, I know I love this. I want him to flex in front of Hector, you know, where they both are now, respectively, compared to that scene that we just saw. Bang, boom. Yeah, fuck you, mate. Damn. All right. I have talked enough, I feel. I just talked for pretty much 5 minutes and I don't know what I'm going to cut out of that. So, yeah, I'm going to keep this short, I think. Great episode. Holy damn. I think I'm not going to repeat what I just said, but I think that's so huge for whatever we're going to see going forward in the show. I just think it's going to make everything so much more emotional. I feel like whatever's going to happen, it's going to hit so much deeper because now I care about Gus. You know, I'm invested more so in Gus. Like I said, you know, up until this point, he was just this shadowy figure, you know, this almost, not empty, because I feel like the show has done a lot to make him a compelling villain. It's taken that to a whole new level now. At the end of the day, in the present, Gus is winning against the cartels, right? 2 of those people at that table in that flashback neutralized. I assume the 3rd guy is the boss in the present. Might be wrong about that, I'm not sure. But now this is the thing, right? Now I want Gus to beat that guy. That's the last one, the last straw. The guy who did that stuff and was orchestrator of that in the flashbacks. And I almost need Gus to succeed. I'm in this revenge cycle now because I feel it and I've seen it, that Gus is. So now I'm like, it adds a whole new dimension to this show in that now with Walt, who I am also behind for, you know, various reasons, and Jesse and whatever, it adds some conflict to that feeling within me because now I'm like, Walt, back away, Gus has to do his thing. I need Gus to do this thing and you're getting in the way of that and you threatened that. But I completely understand why he's doing that and I'm also on Walt's side in that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it adds this dimension to the emotions in the audience at play in such a way that connects you so much more to the show. Do you know what I mean? It's what makes I feel like this show so good because it does that. It manipulates the audience so emotionally all the time. If you like this video, click this one. YouTube has specifically recommended it to you, mate, so get your click on, why not? Oh god, I completely forgot that it's Thursday, by the way. Sorry, that was on purpose. I meant to mention it in the intro. Lord of the Rings coming out tomorrow to coincide with Rings of Power, so you got it a day early, mate. Congrats to you, you win. Flamingo! You thought I forgot. Get out of here. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.